Hey, what's going on, everyone? Axel here. I'm going to do a little bit of ranting today about TV versus video games. What gave me the idea for this video is oftentimes as a gamer, I'm criticized for spending some of my free time playing video games, while at the same time the people that are criticizing me often spend most of their free time watching TV. So it seems a little bit hypocritical to me. And I've always felt that gaming was a better use of your time than just watching TV, watching TV shows, watching movies. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit today and explain why. So let's talk about TV and what it is. It's basically when you're watching TV, you're sitting there, usually sometimes by yourself, sometimes with other people, just sitting there passively. It's a very passive activity, whereas video games are much more active. I would argue that TV is much more of a solitary activity because even if you're sitting there with other people, you're often not engaging with the other people. Like, it's not, think about it. If you watch a movie with somebody, is it really that much different than watching a movie by yourself? The movie is a very passive thing. TV and movies are a very passive activity. You can't talk to someone while you're watching a movie because then you can't watch the movie, if that makes sense. So I think video games are better in that regard because even when you are with somebody, playing a video game with somebody, you're at least interacting with them on some level. You may be playing cooperative with them, you may be playing against them, but either way, you're interacting with them in some way most of the time. And also, multiplayer is a big part of video games, especially nowadays with multiplayer online being so popular. That's not something you're ever going to experience in TV. You're never going to be able to interact with someone while engaging in the activity of watching TV. It's just a plainly passive activity, and that's it. Unlike video games where you can actually socialize at the same time. Point number 2, I think video games are more stimulating than TV. Like I said, watching television, watching movies is a very passive activity. You're basically just sitting there watching something. But with video games, at least you're stimulating yourself. You're engaging mentally on some level. I think playing video games are great for your reflexes in a lot of ways, and they're definitely better for stimulating your mind. And I think that if you take your average person who's growing up, getting older, I think that playing video games would be better for your brain health overall. I'm, of course, not a doctor. I can't prove that, but I know that one of the primary things that they try to get you to do as you age is to continuously challenge and engage your brain. And I don't think there's any arguing that playing some high-paced game like say Call of Duty Online is more stimulating than just for your brain than just sitting there watching reruns of Friends. Another point I want to make is that I've always thought of video games as kind of an elevated, more, I guess, lacking a better word, a more evolved version of TV, because video games often are TV, just but instead of just you playing a passive role, you actually get to be involved and make decisions in the story. We have a lot of games nowadays, like say The Last of Us, for example, that are basically interactive movies, and you get to not only get the same experience you do while you're watching TV, but you get an additional step. You get to actually engage and take part in the story, and I think that's really cool. Another point, I think video games are definitely cheaper. Cable television can cost $60-$80, but you can go down and buy a used game from the bargain bin at your local GameStop or local game store for $5-$10, and that can provide you with tens and tens of hours of entertainment. Especially if you're into older games, like more retro games, stuff like PS2, the original Xbox games, PS3, Xbox 360. Those types of games are ridiculously cheap nowadays, and even just 1 or 2 year old Xbox One and PS4 games are really cheap. So if you're into retro, you can definitely save a lot more money by playing video games than you would, paying $60-$80 monthly for an expensive cable bill. Next point, video games are more convenient than TV. Watching TV is if we're talking traditional TV, I know Netflix doesn't have this problem, obviously, but you have to conform to a schedule. Say the big game comes on at 9 o'clock. You have to tune in exactly at that time or you miss it. Yeah, there are things, there are ways around that. There are a lot of features in television today that kind of let you rewind it, but if you want to actually watch the thing live, you have to conform, at least to some extent, to a scheduling process on the TV. Also, video games, for the most part, don't bombard you with ads every 10 minutes and interrupt your experience. Also, last point, I think video games are definitely more convenient than TV in more ways than just the scheduling. There's a lot of ways now to take video games with you on the go. Yeah, you can watch TV to some extent on the go on your smartphone, but I think overall that there's more opportunities to play video games on the go than there is to watch television. Oftentimes you have to have some kind of internet connection to watch, say, Netflix online. It would also cost you costly data on your cell phone plan, things like that. But if you have, say, a Nintendo 3DS or a Game Boy or PSP or a Nintendo Switch, you can just play the games that you already own on the go without any extra cost. So I just wanted to get this off my chest today, guys, because I'm really sick of hearing from people that do nothing but watch TV. I'm sick of hearing from them that that video games is a waste of time and that it's not a good activity. Now, no one's going to lie that, like, I'm not going to try to make the argument that most video games are a productive use of your time. It's not. It's entertainment. But at the same time, I think that culture today and society looks down on video games as kind of a lesser form of entertainment. Like, you can go out, say you go out and talk to your coworkers about what you did the previous night. If you tell them that you spent 3-4 hours watching the NFL, they wouldn't blink an eye. But if you tell them that you spent 4 hours playing a game online with your friends, they'll kind of look down on you. At least that's the impression I've gotten from a lot of people. Gaming just isn't. It's to the point where it's still not. It's getting better. Like, it's way better than it was 10 years ago, but it's still not fully accepted in society as a adult form of entertainment. It's still seen kind of as a child's activity, and that definitely is changing. But I would like to see it change more in the future. So guys, that's going to be it for this video. Please comment below. Let me know what you think on this topic. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, if there's any points that you would have brought up that I didn't bring up, anything like that, I'd be interested in hearing about it in the comments below. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please like, please subscribe, please share, and all that. And that way you can see my content in the future. That's going to be it for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and you have a good one. Take care.